Okay, so ABN Cast is on the road again. This time we've come not too far from our base in London to Birmingham for the IFS Connect event for the UK.
Yep.
IFS is a large enterprise software provider for many industries, including the aviation sector. Joining me is Vijay Hadavale, who is the pre-sales director, I'm looking at your badge, pre-sales director for aerospace and defence for IFS for Europe.
Europe.
Welcome, Vijay. Thanks for joining us on ABN Cast.
Thank you.
You've just come off stage doing your quick half-hour update on what IFS is doing for businesses in the aviation sector.
That's right.
Just run us very quickly through the areas you talked about. Particularly, we're talking about AI developments. Talk about that a lot today, but
That's
also
right.
sustainability. So just a quick run through what you were just talking about.
So the topics that we covered, I think, in IFS.ai, I think that's been the core topic throughout, but also sustainability and A&D being a core highly regulated industry.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of regulation that we need to comply with,
Yeah.
and standards. So those are the topics that, in terms of security, in terms of sustainability, and so on.
Yeah. So, as you said, AI has been a big topic today, but just because of what IFS themselves are doing, as referencing themselves as an AI-first business. What, from your perspective, in terms of our sector, does AI mean for aviation companies? Why should companies in our sector embrace the AI revolution that we know is happening, but I think there's a lot of questions about it, and maybe a few doubts and a few cynics.
Yeah. I mean, A&D industry, just purely because they're highly regulated and they are always slow on the uptake on the new technologies, not from the asset perspective or usage perspective, but from a technology, from an IT perspective. For example, IFS Cloud, they were slow. Now, IFS.ai or AI, they're slow. But in terms of why, because it's a revolution. It's
right.
The next revolution that is after the industrial revolution, or the internet, right? After the internet, AI is the next revolution. It's pervasive. It's cutting across every single aspect of the A&D value chain. So we cater for build, operate, maintain, support the entire value chain.
Yeah.
And AI can be leveraged in every aspect of that, which will give them better efficiency, productivity, asset readiness, availability, etc., etc.
Yeah. So the slowness is more of a fear of a revolution, fear
Correct.
of change.
Fear of change.
Because you don't know what it means. Is that what we're sort of facing?
That's right. I think traditionally AI has been around for a while.
Yeah.
I think the industry has struggled as to how to go about it, because there are so many aspects to it as to how you, what kind of areas do you tackle, how do you address it from a technology standpoint, from a business standpoint, from an infrastructure standpoint. What we are doing is bringing all that together in terms of an embedded capability which can be leveraged straight away.
Yeah.
So organizations don't have to spend time with data scientists or technology or tools, but just leverage the business capability directly.
Yeah. And your job is make it easy and ease that process. What was said a lot this morning in the first few sessions with your CEO and CPO was contrasting industrial AI with, I think they call it commercial AI, the kind of AI that most
consumer
people
AI.
Consumer AI, the kind of AI that we've all been seeing a lot of in the news, ChatGPT, etc. I guess what that gives people the feeling is that there's some sort of massive step change in technology. When the reality is what AI is a continuation of the upward progress of technology, which is happening on a fairly linear curve. Really, it's step changes all the way.
Yeah, I mean the theme here is automation.
Yeah.
Right. Automation in a different way, in a more scalable way, in a more grander way, and very pervasive in terms of not just automation in doing things, integrating things, but also actioning things, analyzing things, recommending things, right? The whole concept is context aware.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the biggest change there.
Yeah. What you see from some of the demonstrations this morning there wasn't a specific aviation examples were given, but there were certain examples given that which you thought, oh my, this is absolutely perfect for an aviation industry that is suffering with supply chain issues, that hasn't got enough people and skills and maintain and highly trained mechanics out there because of what we know what happened during COVID, is struggling with OEM deliveries as well.
Correct.
And is absolutely is operating at almost 100%, but needs to be more efficient and effective. So you almost feel the aviation industry of all the, I know IFS focuses on 6 specific industries, but aviation's almost the best case study for this kind of thing because of the situation it's in. Is that a fair enough observation?
Absolutely. I mean, we focus on asset-intensive, capital-heavy, data-rich industries, right? So if you look at the aerospace and defense, we cover 6 verticals, sub-verticals. We cover airlines and operators, we cover air support providers, we cover A&D manufacturing, we cover defense, we cover defense contractors, and a third-party A&D MRO providers. Now, all of those, right? So again, these are the various aspects of the A&D value chain, depending on the asset. It's not just about the air asset, but also air, land, and sea and space. So we cover all those elements.
So one of the things we've talked about a lot is people as well, and how this technology works with people. And there's obviously there's a big fear with AI generally, that AI comes along and dispenses with people. Now that's not going to happen tomorrow, especially in MRO, where you need people to get out of bed in the morning, get down to the MRO shop and fix an engine, for instance, or a landing gear. You're going to need people to do that. The key thing here is that you've got technology to assist that person, and this is again where you come in.
So what we are doing is, it's not about replacing people. It's about assisting people. It's about automating things which will make life easier for the employee, for the technician, for the mechanic, for the inspector, for the maintainer, for the planner. AI is going to bring different roles. It's not going to kill the market for the human. It's going to assist human, augment human, and make life easier. But in a much higher scale of efficiency, predictability, agility, and so on.
What we heard earlier is going to sort of maybe change roles, compress roles, maybe develop new roles like prompters don't really exist at the minute, but we're going to need prompt engineers and so on. So that's probably where it's going to change, but it's going to give the guys on the front line a very different sense of, or different idea of what it's like to be in business, in work, because they're going to be supported by technologies currently they aren't today. So today they may take out a physical manual, but in the future, surely that's not going to be the case. That seems like a very archaic way of doing things.
No, exactly. Now, if you see aerospace and defense industry is suffering from aging workforce and new talent. Now, AI helps in many ways there, because AI can provide the legacy knowledge, right, from all the data-rich in instances of the asset life cycle, data logs, structured data, unstructured data. All that information can be churned so that the new technician can learn from it, can be presented to at the point where the person, whether it's a technician doing some fix, they can get the recommendations as to this is what was done to fix last time. These are the instructions. These are the things. Can be brought all that together to the point of the action. Right. So that helps a lot.
That's it. The young, more inexperienced engineer almost comes to work with the experience of every engineer that ever existed on his back. I think the issue there maybe is is that being understood by the regulators, that this is something that's happening. They've got to sort of understand that this is now happening and that's allowable.
Correct.
So there's a lot of different moving parts here, a lot of stakeholders.
Cybersecurity, privacy, restrictions, all these need to be underpinned. Right? Regulations are still behind, but they will come. But what we are trying to do is build a platform or a framework which is explainable, with the foundation which will comply to all these regulatory requirements. So,
and again, this morning demonstrated there was, again, not an aerospace example, but there was examples of maintenance where you're asking questions of a system in a kind of chat GPT kind of way. It's providing amazingly detailed answers, but it's not public. This is a private sphere, because again, this data is not meant to be for public consumption. So this is the key important thing for us.
It's contained in your own secure environment. So all that works within your environment. So it's not public. The infrastructure, the whole tenant, the whole data processes is all contained. and it is what access you provide to AI in order to provide back those recommendations or detections or anomaly detections or forecasts, predictions, prescriptions, whatever it is.
Yeah. One area we're particularly interested in at ABN, because of our MRO Management Magazine and our annual conference, which is our Predictive Aircraft Maintenance Conference, is in predictive. You've got preventative maintenance, you've got predictive maintenance. We're particularly interested in predictive, and that's obviously a very big data play. AI massively plays a part in that, and increasingly so. So what are we going to see in predictive, do you think? Are we on the cusp of predictive becoming really well adopted in aviation?
Predictive maintenance has been there, right? Yeah. So in different shape of form, what AI is doing is boosting that to another level. So the predictive maintenance is where, with the data, with the information that is available, whether it's a mobile asset, whether it's a fixed asset, air, land, or sea, whether it's commercial or defense, all these assets have a lot of information. Yep. They have sensors, they have moving things. All that information can be captured. All that information can be used in order to predict your maintenance events, its failure prediction, its condition, right? And its life. So there are a lot of things that can be used there in order to optimize the usage, the availability, and if it's a defense, it's the mission readiness. Right? So there are a lot of aspects there.
Yeah. And in the commercial side of things, you get the sense that, I mean, like I say, predictive isn't anything new, AI isn't anything new, but a lot of forces are pushing people in this direction because of what we've already discussed about some of the aspects of the aviation sector. So do you get the sense that customers in the aviation sector are now saying this is the time to really adopt this, to take this much more seriously?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know whether if you remember in the first session we had, McKinsey did a study across the industries, including aerospace and defense. I think 70% of them are embarking on that journey or thinking about AI. So we've had a lot of queries, we've had a lot of interest generated from the biggest airlines that we serve in terms of what can we do with the data-rich information about the assets they have in order to do things. Right? For example, we work with one of our customers who've been using information from the airlines, aviation, and using our software to do the maintenance, but have a connector which feeds back into their engine maintenance. So I don't want to name the customer here, but they've been managing this quite well using some of our solutions.
And why does IFS play a role in this kind of thing? I think I know what the answer might be, but I'll let you explain. In that, obviously, the airlines may be able to go off and do this themselves, but actually having an IFS layer in this provides a kind of interoperability. Something that can be used across industry, so you can collaborate more, but you can collaborate in a secure and safe manner. Is that the key role you play?
So we've had aviation maintenance software, right? Best of breed, which provides a robust compliance capability, right, in the industry, which is needed and very, very important from a safety and a life perspective. So this solution is very strong, robust, and best of breed, and now part of the wider IFS cloud, right? So all of these capabilities, because our solution provides the heart of the maintenance and support to all these airlines and other sub-verticals within A&D, whether it's manufacturing, defense, or forces and defense contractors, it gives, because it's data rich, and that data plays into the AI capability. So hence. And plus it's an open architecture. So it's not just the data that we hold, but data all around that can be brought together.
The danger often with technology is companies go down their own little sort of their own route, and they think they're doing the right thing because it's bespoke to them, but then it doesn't actually work with the wider ecosystem, and they go down a bit of an alleyway.
So we pride ourselves in saying we're not the only software. There's others in the ecosystem, and we work well within the ecosystem rather than we just being
that
there.
Open attitude to technology. And I guess the other thing as well is that you see it from different verticals as well. So what happens in aviation, there's parallels in other sectors.
Absolutely.
And we should learn from that, I guess.
Correct. And, like I said before, it's about the asset-intensive industries that we are in. capital heavy. So these assets can be energy utilities, telecom sector, aerospace and defense, air, land, and sea assets.
Yeah.
They all have the similar life cycle experience, right? The asset life cycle, some of the aviation A&D assets last for several decades. They need to be managed, and the entire life cycle, the majority part of it is the maintenance and support part of it.
Yeah.
And we are very strong. We are the number one for last 3 or 4 years in terms of the EAM from revenue point of view as well as capability point of view.
And when you see what you've experienced as being best practice in terms of adopting new technologies, riding the revolution, whatever that looks like, do you find that you get? Certainly, we see this. I think from our PAM conference, we get real advocates, like almost, fans of the technology. They get it. They don't need to be convinced. But they've got a lot of buy-in in their own businesses to get it moving, and you can see that they struggle with that a little bit. So you need sort of buy-in from the very top, because that gives you the authority to roll it out. But a successful deployment requires everybody to be on board. So that's hard. That's why some of these things often don't work.
Yeah. So I mean, again, this is one of our strengths. We have customers which are several decades old.
Yeah.
And they have invested in us, trusted our capabilities, our deliverables, our solutions, services over the years, and we've kept pace with not just what they need, but also with the industry and technology. And we continue to serve these large customers.
Yeah. So what can we look forward to in the future? You mentioned in your session the biannual rollouts that IFS does each year on its technology. There's that continue. Some of these are quite sort of seemingly small additions, but actually it all adds up. So what are the big changes that IFS is now planning for the future? AI is clearly up there with the main one, but what can we expect to see going forward?
So there are several things, right? AI is one of the biggest that is happening, and the pace is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right? It's unprecedented, it's accelerating, and it's pervasive. So
Right.
AI is one. The other is connectivity. Right? We're seeing connectivity in every aspect of our lives. Aviation industry, the more connections there are, the more data there is. The more data there is, the more analysis and benefit, and you can unlock value there.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's where AI again comes into. So AI comes into play. So connectivity, AI, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is underpinning everything today.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So that's another aspect that we take seriously, and is part of our portfolio.
Okay. Well, look, it's been a very busy day already. We're sort of towards the end of the day.
Yep.
I think coffee's about to be served before the last few sessions.
Yep.
And I know it's been oversubscribed. It's been like 400 people. There was standing room only earlier. Well, that obviously reflects well on both on IFS, but I think more generally on the appetite for what you're talking about here today. Do you have a sense that we're at an interesting point in technologies or revolution, as you put it?
Yeah.
In general, do you think we're
Yeah,
at a tipping point?
We are, and again, I'm going to say it. It's IFS.ai.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the AI, industrial AI that is pervasive, and it's going to cut across every single aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
That's the revolution that we're in.
We haven't talked about one aspect,
Okay.
digital twins in aviation, which I think you did
very
briefly
yeah.
touch on. And that's a really interesting aspect of it, because that is happening and being built.
Yeah.
Which is essentially a kind of an industrial meta, isn't it? It's like metaverse for airlines, but it's got a real a really good proper commercial use or industrial use. So
Absolutely.
it's here and it's real. It's not.
Yeah, I mean digital twin and digital thread, right?
Yeah.
Two things, but they've been there for a while. But now the technologies are there to make that a much bigger, better, improved reality, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So technology in the extended reality, augmented reality, all the visualization tools that are coming out, the AI capability, the connectivity, all of that is bringing and making the digital twin in terms of so many different applications, whether it's analysis, whether it's maintenance side of the MRO capability, whether it's design and development, it's playing into every aspect. And we cover the core value chain of the A&D. that is build, operate, maintain, support.
Yeah.
And this is where the digital thread comes in order to leverage the digital twin, the snapshot of all those assets in order to, keep it ready, uptime, and so on, usage.
Yeah, it's when you see those things you realise all this stuff is actually happening. It's real,
Yep.
and it's here to stay, and it is revolutionising industries and businesses.
Absolutely.
Vijay, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Enjoy the rest of the day as it closes, and thanks for hosting us.
Yeah,
Cheers.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you.